Hello everyone. I'm Nondumiso Nchangase. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can see today, I am not alone. I have a guest. His name is Vugile Mkhize. He's, I want to call him an investment specialist. So he's that person who actually analyzes the markets and then also the economy. And he can actually tell you the impact that the economy has on the markets. Right? So he's actually my first guest, everyone. So
I feel very honored to be the very first guest.
Yeah, it's very, very to mention the long list of his credentials, but I am honored to have him as my first guest. But anyway, please subscribe and like the video. Today we're going to be talking about what we think or his view actually. In fact, maybe before you even get to that, please note that the video we are doing is not financial advice. If you require financial advice, please consult with a person who's registered with the Financial Services
Board. Well, they changed the name, right?
They did, yeah.
FSCA
Financial Sector Conduct Authority.
Yeah,
my gosh.
Shit,
yeah. Yeah, so you go and contact with that person. We are just giving you information and our view.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of views out there. I think there's many opinions as there are analysts out there. So everything you need to take with a pinch of salt, I guess. Everyone has something to say. Everyone has an opinion. So yeah, I guess even with this, it's not necessarily gospel, but it's an opinion.
So what we're going to be talking about today is just looking at what's been going on in the markets since COVID. I know the time when COVID hit, a lot of companies dipped, and I actually think is best place to tell us what's been going on, what are the trends that you guys observed during that first wave, and then what's also been happening post that. So maybe let's just start there. What happened that maybe you didn't expect when COVID happened? What were the trends?
Surprisingly, a lot of things happened. Excuse me. A lot of things that I hadn't expected happened. So a silly example is that you're basically telling people to not go to work anymore, to stay at home, to work from home.
Yeah.
And the surprising thing is that we saw that home improvement sales actually went up. So, and that's because people who are staying at home, they realized that they needed to make their homes pretty. They needed to set up home offices. So we saw like a huge spike in that I guess part of the economy or in that sector.
Yeah.
I think what was expected was that obviously businesses that allow you to continue feeling like life hasn't changed as much.
About Netflix,
Tech had an incredible run because people had to rely on online entertainment. They couldn't go to cinemas, so Netflix, Disney. We also saw I guess tools or technologies that allow you to work from home also doing incredibly well. The likes of Zoom, for example, it's like Teams basically.
Because we never used to use those before.
Exactly,
you could just
right?
go into someone's office, nikulume, and you are done. But now that usekaya, you have to actually find a way to meet, but still have that like human touch to it.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah, no,
you're right. Definitely, you're right. I remember because at the time when COVID hit, I used to see clients face to face a lot.
Yeah.
And after COVID, then we obviously had to communicate with clients via things like Teams.
Yeah.
And it was a learning curve because although I've had participated in calls or conference calls and stuff, but I wasn't used to it, especially driving it.
If the sweet line,
right. So, but fortunately, I remember I realized early that I could use the excuse of bandwidth, so I didn't have to show my video. So I never. Sometimes I'd be chilling in bed while doing a presentation, and give the excuse, guys. Unfortunately, I can't show my face because of. I'm saving bandwidth, and then they just take that. While the true reason was that
you just want to be comfortable.
Yeah, I hadn't prepared to.
Yeah, I hadn't prepared for people to So
see
tell
my
me,
face.
Vugile, So I guess at the time, if you had bought those shares then, when I guess pre-COVID or maybe when it just started, I guess manje those shares are very expensive. Do you think they would still be like a good idea to go into?
If your only I guess intention of investing in them was COVID, maybe it's not the right time, because I mean they've already benefited from COVID in a way. In fact, what we're seeing now is that a lot of investors are actually switching away from those shares. So during COVID, we saw investors preferring those companies that don't require face-to-face interaction. That's why things like Netflix were such a hit during that period, and Zoom and stuff, right? And companies that require face-to-face interaction really suffered during COVID.
Yeah.
But with, I guess, the vaccination and life slowly going back to some form of normalcy, or people being able to go out again and doing things that they like, we're starting to see that investors are now switching away from those tech companies that benefited from COVID to those companies that suffered during COVID.
Yeah.
Because with the vaccination and with I guess countries reaching herd immunity, we're likely going to see all those businesses that were really hurt by COVID coming back online. So a simple example is take Airbnb, for example.
Yeah.
People couldn't travel. Some countries weren't allowing foreigners in, so that company was badly hit by COVID, and it makes sense why it was, right?
Yeah.
But if we eventually reach herd immunity and traveling becomes big again, then a company like Airbnb is likely to start picking up.
Okay. So are there any sectors that in your view, you think might never recover?
No.
Okay.
Here's why. Let's take office space as an example. We saw the property markets, especially locally, was already struggled even before COVID. But with COVID, we know just put another spanner in the works with especially with office space, where with people working from home, then there isn't as much demand, and we saw also companies closing up. Which meant that vacancies increased. So there's a lot of office space that's available, right? Although I feel that working from home is likely going to be the norm, or maybe it's not going to be as unheard of as maybe before, right?
Yeah.
So there is going to be less demand for office space. I think that's definitely going to happen. But we're likely going to see those spaces being converted to something else. So some offices will be converted to residential space. Some offices will be converted to retail space. So although the office property sector might struggle, but there are ways to try and minimize the
impact that it has had on commercial property. Because I thought, I don't know this very well, but I think like Masbad, I think they have to give you some sort of permit for you to actually have like commercial property in a certain space or something.
Yeah, that's the case with
they're going to have to go through all those processes in order for them to convert it into residential and stuff, but they can still actually get to a point where that, those buildings are used for something else and still make sense in the future. So it's not a throwaway, I guess, completely.
Yeah. And it's not a completely new idea. If you look at what's been happening recently, we've been seeing a trend where developers are doing mixed use developments, where you have maybe retail on the ground level, and then you have maybe offices mid-level, and then in some cases even residential at the upper levels.
Yeah.
So it's not a completely radical thing.
Oh, okay.
So there's gonna be a lot of conversions to other uses.
Okay, so we need to just, I guess, adapt to the way things are now and see, how can we still make money with what we've got, and use it for and not just, going back to the whole. I know there's certain companies that still want their people emsebenzini.
Yeah, which sucks. Working from home is
it
so
really
nice.
sucks. So you might, especially looking at things like, you do save a lot with no proper,
you do.
Huge offices, and still have your employees working from home, and you don't have to provide toilet paper, coffee, tea, all those things. So you are saving on such costs as well as a company. So that goes towards the. Instead of it going to expenses, it goes towards money that goes into the shareholders' pockets, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So
and I must say, for us as employees, or for some of us, I must say, because some people don't enjoy working at home, and I've realized that it's mostly people with like
children.
Kids and stuff.
No, that's true. Yeah.
So you have someone who lives maybe in Pretoria and they work in Joburg or Sandton, and they pay more than $2,000 a month on the Gautrain, right?
Yeah.
So if they start working from home, they can already increase their savings by 2K.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I think it's been a positive for some people. I'm definitely one of them.
All right. Okay. No, thank you for that. So I think you've already answered the question, Yoguti. What shares do we think are going to do well post-COVID? So things, I don't want to obviously mention any specific names, because I don't want people to go and buy those shares.
Oh yeah, you're right.
We can. I guess we can. Advice. Yeah, we can make examples just for people to understand what we were talking about. But obviously, we're not trying to promote any companies.
Yeah.
But as you said, things like indawo zokuvakashela, resorts and stuff. So companies that own such things, because guys, we've been sitting at home. Sesifuna holiday. So I guess very moment those open up, people are going to be booking, and they are going there, and that translates into revenue for those type of companies. Yeah. So what do you think that shares are still like the thing that, we've always known, you can put a share in this one company, is cooler by maybe in 20 years, it's going to be like, this much. But now with COVID and such things that were unexpected happening, do you still think shares are like good investments compared to your other asset classes, like your bonds and whatever?
Oh, no, definitely. Yeah.
There's still money to be made there.
There's definitely still money to be made. But I guess we can say that shares in general still make sense.
Yeah.
But you need to look carefully at the individual companies, right? So, for example, I'm drawing a blank here. I guess even in normal times, you still need to try and understand the companies and try to invest in things that you understand, which is very important.
Yeah.
And we can sit here and say that shares, equity as an asset class definitely still makes sense, but you still need to choose within the different companies which ones you think are likely to outperform.
Okay. All right. I think we've come to the end of the video.
Oh, really?
I think those are questions. Really short.
So short.
I think, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I enjoyed this.
But I guess if there's questions that you guys have, you can always pop them in the comments section. I will try and get him to answer the questions. But don't ask any questions that require him to crack his skull, even though he's smart. So you still don't want him to go around.
I'm not sure about being smart, but okay, sharp.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Bugile, for honoring the invitation and being the first guest on my show. Thank you for the insights. And giving me that comfort that, because my money is in equities, giving me that comfort that I'm still safe in a way. If I've picked properly from the get-go, I'm still safe.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh,
any
thanks.
last word for the viewers?
Well, no, thanks for having me. And to the viewers, I think it's really important to try and set aside some money, right? Because I mean, you don't want to be caught off guard when something happens and you don't have a nest egg somewhere. I know it's really difficult, especially when you may be starting out. It's really difficult to put away some money, but if you can, please do. And the earlier the better, basically, because we've seen that with time things do get better most of the time, right? And companies also strive to get better with time, and that's why then share prices tend to go up. I think society at large is always seeking better things, right? So if you can pick the right companies, you're likely to benefit from that, because companies are striving to improve the money they make and to improve efficiencies and all that. So it is a solid way to build wealth, right? But it's a very you need to be patient. It's not what are these schemes called?
Get
rich quick scheme. Yeah, no, it's not one of those.
You
need to be patient, and you also need to realize that there are a lot of risks that come. There are risks that come with investments, and the reason for that is because we do not know the future, right? To be frank, you might think that. I mean, imagine in Jan this year, someone out there would have thought Airbnb is such a great investment, because maybe they looked at themselves and realized that they never really book hotels; they're always booking Airbnb. And then COVID hits, and then Airbnb struggles. So I think it's really important to put something away, but also to know that things won't go your way all the time. You need to be cognizant of that. There are risks involved. But you try to minimize those risks by diversifying, right? So you don't want to have your eggs in one basket, because if that basket breaks somehow and everything just breaks, and it just ruins your life. So you want to try to spread your risk, and that's the prudent way of doing things, and the prudent way of trying to build some wealth for yourself.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that. Those are actually very wise words. I've
never no one has ever called me wise before, but okay, sharp, I'll take that.
Okay, thank you for listening, everyone. Please like the video and share and comment, and I'll see you on my next one. Have a good one.